So I wanted to get on here so I can start being available for women that are interested in possibly for women that are interested in embodiment coaching and don't understand exactly what embodiment coaching is. So everyone hears about manifestation and attracting. Everyone knows about manifestation, attracting and magnetizing and bringing in the things that you desire, but the one thing I think a lot of coaches forget or probably don't even understand themselves is you have to embody the frequency. So I've been on this journey for, I want to say, the last 5 years, consciously on this journey, because we're always manifesting. So I've been consciously on this journey for the last 5 years. And one thing that would always happen to me is I could bring in a lot of things. I could manifest what I wanted, but it seemed to be always either incomplete or chaotic. And I couldn't understand why. Like I can bring in, for example, my boyfriend. I can bring in an ex. I can bring in people or money into my life, but it was always incomplete. Or let's say it would kind of come in and then fall off for some odd reason, and I couldn't figure out why. And then recently, when I got further into my manifestation journey, I understood that, oh, if I'm just manifesting from my beliefs, if I'm just affirming and scripting and visualizing and just repeating all of these like practices, I'm still not going to get what I truly want. I'm just going to get whatever I can match at that moment. So that's when I started doing the identity work, and I uncovered another layer, right? Because now I was addressing my limiting beliefs. So manifesting got a little bit easier and a little bit better. And I would see a shift in my relationships. I would see a shift in my businesses. I would see a shift in the people around me, but it was still not good enough. And it was so much work had to go into it. It wasn't like I can just sit there and attract these things the way everyone on the internet seems to be able to do. And I couldn't do that. And once I got to that point and I understood, okay, I'm doing the identity work. What's next? What is missing? And I would sit with myself in my body and just really observe the sensations. What was resisting? Where was I resisting it? What was causing limitations that I was unaware of? And that's when I realized that somatically, like my body was resisting. And it was so weird because my mind wanted these things. I was actively pursuing these things, but there was a part of me that was just like stopping it. There was like this huge disconnect. And I know this has happened to you before when you are like, you know what? I really want this. I know I should do it. Or maybe the opposite. You're like, I know I shouldn't be doing this. You know, my ex is toxic. I shouldn't be calling them, but you still do. And you run back and you're like, man, why can't I stop this? That's the disconnect between your mind and your body. That's why if you just do the affirming, if you just do the scripting, if you just do the meditations and the visualizations, if you just do identity work, you still have resistance. You still can't call in the things that you actually want to manifest because you're just addressing your mind. You're not addressing the somatic layer, which is your body. So we'll have literally like your body will stop it. And if you take 2 seconds, like I don't know if you're sitting, if you're standing, but if you could take just 2 seconds and close your eyes, take a deep breath, and then try to be aware of the sensations in your body. Like say anything. What's one thing that you've been trying to pull in? Let's say, the money. I want a 6-figure job. I want $1 million. Like, you can feel it in your body. You can feel the resistance in your heart, in your throat. You can feel it in your solar plexus. You can feel it in your root. It just feels yucky, like really bad. So that's when I started to understand, even if I couldn't articulate what it was, that there was another layer that most coaches do not talk about. They never tell you that. They only talk about, the identity work. They'll talk about the energetic field and the quantum jumping and all of these things, but nobody talks about the somatic layer and how you have to be able to sit in your body and change the frequency in your body to draw those things out. And, even as a coach, that is something that at times even I struggle with, because I'll have, certain situations that just make me extremely anxious. And even if I know everything's going to be okay, I know that everything's going to turn out the way it needs to, in this moment, I can't settle and sit in my body long enough to let those things come into fruition. So I think one of the most important things that's not shared on the internet when we have all of this woo-woo information out there is that there is another layer beyond just doing the mind work, the limiting belief, addressing your identity. You don't have to actually sit there and dedicate hours of your time to affirming and scripting and meditating. You don't have to do that. You should be able to sit down and connect and bridge that gap between what your mind wants and what your body wants, so you can emit that frequency and bring it into your life. Is it the easiest thing? No, it's not. But if you do the right work, eventually you will get there. And then you can connect the gap between the things that you know and the things that you don't know. So what I've seen that a lot of women struggle with, especially women that have learned to be independent, women that have achieved all of these things in their lives, you see, they go around, they're confident, they're boss babes, they have their money, they have their car, and they're miserable. They're like, they feel empty inside, they feel incomplete, because they get stuck in this pattern of doing the work. So if a coach comes on here and they're like, oh, you just have to affirm. Yeah, just visualize more. Oh, just script it. It's okay. Just keep on scripting it. You get stuck in that loop of doing more over and over and over again, when it shouldn't be like that. Energy work should be effortless. You should be able to sit the fuck down and say, you know what? I want this today. This is what I want. This is how I'm going to create it. And it matches me and I'm fine. But you have to step out of your comfort zone. You have to step out of, I need to do more so I can get more, so I can create more. But as a high achieving woman, how do you do that? That's all you do. That is your identity. I can do, I can build, I can create. How do I step out of that? The only way to step out of that is creating safety in your body. Literally, that's it. You have to be able to sit with yourself in your body and feel it. Where is this resistance coming up? Is it in my throat? Is there something that I'm not saying? Am I filtering my words? Is this not my truth? Is it my heart? Am I emotionally unavailable? Am I guarded? Am I scared to open up to people? Is it in my power center? If I do this, I'm going to lose control. I'm going to be powerless. I can't do that. I can't give that up. Is it in my root, my safety? Is it in my sacral chakra, right? Am I not being myself? Am I not being creative? Am I not being authentic? And unfortunately, those things that have made us strong as high achieving women are our blocks. Those are our energetic blocks. Those are our core wounds that keep us in those cycles of doing and achieving, and in this constant loop to the point that you are so tired emotionally. Like it's this soul level exhaustion that even when you sit down and rest or sleep, you just feel like you can't stop. You're so tired. And like we're seeking support in coaches, we're seeking spirituality, we're seeking just anyone to come and rescue us, to help us, to give us the answer because we're tired. And the only answer you can find online is do more scripting, more affirming. You're not visualizing enough. And you're like, I'm doing all the work. Like, I can't do anything else. I can't do more. I don't have the energy to do that. So what is next? How do I fix this? And it's exhausting because these loops as strong, independent women, which that's not something to be proud of. We learned to be like that because we had no one to rely on as children. We had to be that. We were the leader. We didn't have a strong dad at home. Our mother, who knows, mine wasn't around. So we learned at a young age to be a strong, independent woman. Now you want to rest, you want a relationship, you want support, and you can't turn it off. And the only answer online is, I have to do more. I'm already exhausted. So the real answer is you have to sit with yourself. You have to get to know you, the real you, not the woman that has all of this armor that protects her from the world and that she can walk into any room and command it. Not that woman, the soft, feminine woman, the one that can finally rest, the one that embodies the frequency, the one that attracts effortlessly, not the one that does more or has to do more or continues to do more. So this is why I'm furious at a lot of these spiritual coaches. I've done the work, but even when I attract good men, he has fearful avoidance. So fear, girl, the fearful avoidant loop. It's because we're used to mothering. Girl, if I could get started, like so fearful avoidant and avoidant men, or just avoidant people, they have pre-verbal wounds. This is why normal therapy does not help anyone that has an insecure attachment style. And since high achieving women are used to leading, we're used to getting shit done, we're used to fixing. You don't know, I'll know. I'll figure it out. If you can't do it, don't worry. I'll do it for you. Here, and I put it on a silver platter for you. I give you everything you need. You literally just have to get up and go. And they still don't do it. So it puts us in a position of authority in our relationships. And then they just don't do anything. They sit there because you become their mother. And unfortunately, when you become their mother, you cannot be their girlfriend. So what ends up happening with a lot of avoidant, and in a lot of avoidant relationships, is when you'll see the infidelity and they'll find someone else to meet their needs as a man, and they'll come back to you because you're home base, because they know you'll take care of them. Because as long as I can come back to mommy, mommy will always love me. Mommy will always forgive me. What does help, and how can I? You can't. If you want him to change, what you need to do is fix yourself. Unfortunately, I know it's so hard because being in that position, and I'm telling you this as somebody that has been in your place. Literally, I was telling one of my closest friends earlier that my man, like, he does everything for me. Everything. Takes care of my kids, does my laundry, cleans. Like, anything and everything I want as a man at home, he does it. But when it came to being in a relationship, since I ended up being his mom because I was a high achieving woman. I am the leader. I know how to be the leader. I know how to lead. You don't have to do it. It's okay. Just help me here. Just help me there. That's why I say this, because I've done this work for myself. I'm not talking out of my ass just because I read this in a book and I'm certified and all. Like, I've done that as well, but I've had to do that out of necessity because I was stuck in these loops and I couldn't fucking figure out how to get out of them, right? So as an independent, high achieving woman, all you know how to do is to lead. So these men, and any time of partnerships, I see the same pattern. I've seen the same pattern even in my businesses and all of my business partners. I end up partnering with men that I need to lead them. I need to teach them. I need to fix them. I need to fix it for them. That's why eventually on my spiritual journey, I was like, this can't be it. It shouldn't be like this. I shouldn't have to fucking do more work just to get what I want. And every time I would meet with other spiritual teachers, it's just like, oh, just do more of this. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Spirituality should be easy. It should be an easy transition, right? So you want him to change, you need to address your core wounds. What in me is making him like this? What in me? Why am I allowing this? Why am I not setting the right boundaries? What in me is creating this? Because at the end of the day, we have to remember we're co-creating reality, right? It's not just him. It's me. You are the center of your universe. You are manifesting this. You are creating this. So if I'm attracting this, right? So we're going to take responsibility. If I'm attracting this, what do I need to change in me so I can emit another frequency? What in the case of him to disappear for no reason after? Because that's the pattern, sweetheart. That's for me to go deeper into attachment style, we would have to sit down because there's not enough time on this for me to specifically address your case. But basically, you have to go back to yourself. You cannot fix someone else, even in your reality. That's not how that works. It's your reality. It's your world. You need to know it's not about blame either. You do not blame yourself, because if you blame yourself, you get into a shame loop. And if you get into a shame loop, that's what you're going to manifest. So taking on responsibility from a point of leadership versus victimhood. You can't be a victim in your own reality because you give away your power. So take your power back without judgment, no blame. This is not about blame. There's no blame, like super neutral. I'm responsible. I take responsibility for what's in my reality. I'm creating this. That means I can create something else, right? So that means I'm a leader. Now, instead of leading others, let me lead myself. How am I going to lead myself? What in me is creating this? What in me is attracting this type of man? What do I like? What do I dislike? What do I have to change? So you have to remove the blame from anything you try to manifest in your life. Because remember, blame is a negative emotion. So you don't want to create from a negative place nor from a positive place. You want to create from neutrality. So when you remove all of those, which you'll have to process, I'm sure you have a lot of grief. And you probably have grief, guilt, and shame. So you'll have to process all of those things first before you try to bring in a relationship into your life. So that's why you need to bring it back to yourself. And that's That's what you need to do somatically. That's what you need to do mentally as well. So first address your identity, then heal your body. You have to sit with yourself. Like, where do I feel this in my body? Yeah, where do I feel this in my body? Because this is beyond therapy, sweetheart. So really simple. Right now, take a deep breath, and just you take a deep breath and you're like, where do I feel all of this in my body right now? So I'm assuming, without even knowing, that you have a block in your heart, in your solar plexus, and probably in your throat as well. Your throat, because there's a lot of things you haven't said, or a lot of things that haven't been received well. You have all of the grief from trying and things not coming into fruition. And then your solar plexus, you feel powerless because things aren't changing. You're trying all of these things in your 3D, in your world, but you're trying to change your external reality instead of going back to self. So that's where you need to start. That's why embodiment is so important, because it's about sitting with you and creating safety in your body, so you just attract. So you just attract what you want. Yeah. It's funny because what you need to do is not try. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but when you get to a point where you've been doing all of this work, where like you're just at the end, you're exhausted. Like you said, you're exhausted. You've done the therapy. Like I did therapy for years. I've paid coaches, mentors. I've done personal development on my own, and it doesn't work. Yeah. That's the thing. Those are limiting beliefs that you have to change. And that's why it's so hard when you have all of these beliefs, because they were instilled in you that I have to do more. I have to lead. I have to change it for myself. If I don't do it, nobody else will. Then when somebody tells you, no, what you actually have to do is sit down with yourself, you're like, what the fuck? That doesn't sound like advice, right? So I understand and I get you. Yeah, that's where the somatic healing comes in, because you've intellectualized everything. So for example, it's like me going up to my 8-year-old and telling her to bake a cake for me. And I give her the instructions. I'm like, you put the mix in the pot and you turn on the stove and this and that. She can read the instructions. She can intellectualize it, right? But what I know, yes, yeah, she can intellectualize everything. But I know, hey, because somatically I've learned this. If I don't put on gloves, I can burn myself. If I'm done with all of this stuff, I can wipe the counter, it'll be dirty. Like all of those little pieces that connect the gap between your mind and your body, you don't have. You have all of the information. You just need to connect it somatically so it's inside of your body, so you have safety, so it becomes just a habit. That's the disconnect. And that's what ends up happening with us when you've been stuck in these patterns for such a long time. You're always doing, like, they're automatic. You can't stop yourself from doing them anymore because they're ingrained somatically. You've received the information. Now your body does it without even thinking. You can't stop yourself. So oh, you're welcome. So so that is the biggest gap when it comes to creating our reality. It's not that you need more tools. You don't need more tools. You don't need more information. Your body just needs to understand it. Like your body needs to be safe, and you need to integrate those beliefs into your body somatically. And it's very difficult to explain. I think the best example I can give is, when somebody tries to tell you something, right? And let's talk about empathy. So your friend is going through a situation and you've never gone through it before. That's never happened. Like nothing similar to that has ever happened. And she's frantic and you can see the emotion on her face and you know that it hurts her. And you're like, I get it. I can register your feelings. I know that's sadness, but I can't feel sad. I don't feel it. It doesn't connect with me. That's the difference between intellectualizing something and feeling it somatically. So there are moments where you want to empathize with someone, but you can't because you've never experienced it. And there's no way in hell for your body to register that emotion within you. So what ends up happening a lot, not only in talk therapy, but in the spiritual community, is that everything's been intellectualized. We have things to do, we have tools, we have information, but when you go to sit down, even when you're doing a meditation, right? Like, for example, the I am is this huge theory right now, and everybody's talking about the I am and the I am. And you start in your spiritual journey and you're just like, well, what the fuck is the I am? Like, how do I get there? I understand it's Christ consciousness. I meditate, and in some points of the meditation, I kind of connect to the field, but how do I know I'm there? What does it feel like? I know the steps. I've done the steps, but I don't know if it's right. That's somatic integration. That's embodiment. That is when your new identity clicks. Maybe you've been saying for years, I'm a woman in a healthy relationship and I have a man that does everything for me. And you sit down and you say that affirmation for yourself and your heart just drops and your throat, it just like it blocks. And then your solar plexus, like your stomach is just, you feel like you're going to throw up and you're like, oh my God, why does it feel so bad to say this affirmation? It's because you don't embody it. Somatically, your body is rejecting that. And it's like telling you like, bitch, you're a liar. You're a liar. Your solar plexus is the chakra right here. It's your power center. So this is your heart, your throat, third eye, then you have your crown. And then you have your sacral, which right here, your belly button, and then your root, which is your safety, which is the one all the way on the bottom of your spine. So each chakra is an energy setter. Your intuition. But it's your intuition and your power setters. So yes, your gut feeling. It's called a solar plexus in Eastern beliefs is your solar plexus. But that's the difference between manifesting or creating your reality from embodiment, because it's embedded in you, in who you are. It's like people that are good at their craft, that they're amazing. They've won a lot of awards. They've been successful. They have the experience. They don't go around and say, I'm the best of the best. I'm amazing. Like normally the people that go around and they are arguing for that position, that they're like, oh, I'm the best football player, or I'm the best baseball player, or I'm the best CEO. Like those arrogant assholes are normally the ones that they're the worst. They're the worst, and they want to prove something to you, to everyone else. And you can see it from afar that is not true. Like they don't embody that truth. Someone that walks into a room and like fully embodies what they are, who they represent, their identity, they don't say anything. They don't have to announce it to the world because that is who they are. So all of these issues that we have in our life is because of that, because we have conflicting stories within ourselves. Our mind has one story and then our body is holding another one. So what ends up happening is your body always wins. Your body always wins. That's why, for example, if you're in a relationship and you know that relationship is toxic and you break up with that person, your body begins to panic and you're like, I have to call them right now. I'm going to call them right now. I have to. Like, you feel like you're dying because somatically you are. Your nervous system is just like, fuck this shit. I'm dying right now. Like, I have to call them. And you know, intellectually, you know it's wrong. You know you shouldn't. You know you have to set better boundaries. And then what ends up happening on social media, which pisses me off, is they're like, oh, you don't love yourself enough. Oh, you don't have any self-respect. No, you can't. Why would you go back? But somatically, like, you embody this version of yourself that needs that to survive. So you've intellectualized a belief that this is wrong. You understand it cognitively, but your body does not. It does. It feels like, literally, it feels like you're dying inside, right? And the thing is, your body doesn't learn by you speaking to it. It doesn't. That's why I always tell everyone, I don't give a shit how much you affirm. I don't care how much you script. It doesn't matter how much you meditate or visualize. Your body doesn't believe you. Your body does not believe. Your body is there like, girl, you're dying right now. What are you doing? Why are you doing? That is our lifeline. We need this, right? So this is like, there's so many people online that, I mean, it breaks my heart. It really does break my heart because I've been there. I've been that girl looking for a way out. I've done all the things and I'm just like, just tell me what I have to do. Like I want to change. I want this to be different. And they're like, just do more meditation, just do more scripting. You're not affirming, you don't believe it enough. And you're like, but I believe it. Like, how can you tell me that I don't believe this? And man, it's so disheartening. And you want to be better. You want to do better. You want to change and you just can't figure it out. And it's literally the missing piece is you have to embody it because you have to understand it somatically. That's it. It's not doing more. It's not more tools. It's not understanding more. It's none of that. You literally just have to let it settle in your body. And as soon as it does, you will never have to do another affirmation in your life, which is what upsets me, right? Because I spent so much time in talk therapy. And my therapist would tell me, she's like, why do you come to therapy anymore? I changed therapists 4 times. 4 times. And all of them, they're like, you know so much. Yeah, that's great. I know so much, but I still have crippling anxiety and depression. I still keep on attracting the same things. Like, I couldn't sleep without pills. So what? I know so much, thank you, but I feel like shit, right? And I don't want this. I don't want to continue in these patterns. I don't want these relationships. I don't want to keep on doing this. So how do I change? And nobody knew. No one can tell me anything. And like, exactly. And it makes you feel like you're failing. Like, I'm not doing enough. Like, something's wrong with me. Maybe I'm broken. Like, what's wrong with me? How can everybody else do this and I can't? Why can they and I can't? And it was literally just somatically, my body did not understand. And that's what happens when you don't reprogram your core wounds, not your limiting beliefs, your core wounds. And when you do not heal your nervous system. So really what you need, what most of the population really needs, anyone that you see, you can go to my bio. I have 2 different programs available. And I also have my 7-step process, the inner alchemy. And it literally, for every time you have a triggering episode, you can go through the 7 steps. So any of those options are all available there. But I sat down after years of coaching and therapy and spiritual teachers, like years. And I was like, I have to put all of this together. And I have 15 years of experience as an entrepreneur, so I know how to build shit. Like, it's super easy. So I sat down and I was like, okay, this doesn't make any sense. Like, the therapist will give me this. The coaches have given me this. I've learned this in spirituality. How do I put that all together and make that into something that addresses all of the layers so I can manifest the life I want? And I just sat down. So every time something happens to me, I sit down and I focus on, let me reprogram my mind. Let me embed this somatically. Let me clear the energetic field. I don't want to keep on attracting this, because sometimes I'm in Houston. It's because sometimes, yes, you'll reprogram the limiting belief. Yes, you will get it somatically, but that energy is lingering, and it'll be 2, 3, 4 months and you're still manifesting the same thing. And you're like, but I already cleared that. I already reprogrammed that. I don't want that anymore. Yes, you can do, so somatic work, you can do breath work, you can exercise, you can tap, you can jump, you can shake, somatic work is any type of movement while the emotion is present. So while you're panicking, while you're sad, while you're angry, you have to create a safe space for yourself and move. Because what ends up happening in the nervous system is, well, everybody's heard of fight or flight, right? So your first reaction is either to fight or to run away. And for us, especially in the society that we live in right now, you get triggered in the middle of your job. You can't go and fight someone, nor can you get up and leave. So you get stuck. The emotion gets stuck in your body, and it literally just freezes in your nervous system. So sometimes it'll take you hours to get over that wave. Sometimes it takes days, sometimes it takes months. And this is why a lot of people have crippling anxiety, because somatically that emotion is stuck within their body and they don't know how. It's trapped within you. So you have to be able to have these tools, these movements, just to be able to move your body in the moment that you are triggered. So your body understands that I am safe, I can still move, or I can stay still and I will be okay. It's creating that safety. And a lot of people can't sit with themselves. They can't. They've never been taught to do that. So that's why we have people with anger issues, anxiety, depression, people stuck in very traumatic and toxic relationships, because they cannot sit in discomfort and they can't regulate themselves. So every time something happens, they run back to the source that they feel helps regulate them. No, because you have to be very present. It's not just about sitting there and crying. So, for example, for my ex, he's super active. He goes to the gym like 2 or 3 times a day. He does Muay Thai, he runs. And you would think that somebody that's so active, that has so much movement in their body, he would be able to get over all his crap, right? All of his trauma. And if you are not present with the emotion, if you don't know what the core wound is, what the limiting belief is, like, why am I scared? What am I scared of? What am I running from? What is this feeling? If you're not aware in that moment, then it won't land somatically. Yeah. And it helps you regulate if you go outside and you walk, right? But you have to do it because you're saying you're in a relationship with a fearful avoidant. So relationships with fearful avoidants are created from codependency. So, hey, Asha. So, if you're in a codependent relationship, um, you have to do not only the identity work, but you have to be able to create safety within yourself without being with that person. So you can break the loop, so you can set boundaries. And you're not doing that because you keep on going back to the loop. Even if you cry, even if you talk to yourself, even if you have some level of awareness, it's not deep enough to stop the pattern. And that's what's going on. That's why you keep on repeating it. That's why you keep on going back. And that's why you're allowing it. So that, yeah, you have to be present. Yeah. But the point that you're still trying to talk to him and still trying to fix it shows me that you haven't broken the loop within yourself. You're still trying to fix your 3D, your external world. Yeah. That's what we're talking about, how we've done everything, we've done all of the work, and it's still not landing. And it's because everything we've done, we've intellectualized it, but we haven't let it land somatically. No, you're not an idiot. I told you to stop the self-blame. Like, and that's gonna keep you even more blocked. Like, literally, it's because it's gonna create more resistance. Instead of addressing the actual problem, you're creating another problem on top of that. And it makes you powerless. Because if you're an idiot, which this is, I am an idiot, turns into an absolute truth. So there's two types of truths. There's absolute truths, and then there's conditional truths. I'm an idiot would become an absolute truth. So your mind is like, oh, I can't change this. There's nothing I can do because that is what I am. You literally use the word I am. So now it's your identity. So now you can't do anything, and you gave your power away to being an idiot. I'm the most intelligent idiot I've ever met. Yeah. You cannot say that you're an idiot. So I'm embodied, but clearly I'm not, right? I'm looking for that. Yeah, so embodiment is when the identity has settled in the body and you don't have to do anything. You don't have to say I am this, because that is who you are. It's your default state. That's the level of embodiment. If you have to set a boundary, then you don't embody that boundary. You're forcing that boundary, and that's why you don't keep it. So as soon as you embody, like for me, I am somebody that naturally, you have to respect me. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to say anything. You don't want to listen? That's okay. I don't care, because I'm going to set a boundary where I am respected no matter what. I don't have to enforce that boundary. If you disrespect me, I'm just walking out. That's it. There's no fighting. That's embodiment. Yeah. If you have to set it, it's not embodiment. If you have to say it, if you have to verbalize it, you're not embodying it. It's because embodiment, it comes from the body. You don't vocalize it. So yeah, if you have to tell people who you are, then you're not that person. You are still trying to convince yourself that you are that person. You're not. Because when you walk into the room, people know who you are. Like, they feel your energy. Have you ever gone to a place, and this used to happen to me a lot. Like you go and they're like, oh, you're actually really nice. I thought you were a bitch. Like, hey, Crystal. And you're like, well, I can be a bitch sometimes, but I am kind of nice. So automatically your energy is, I'm a bitch when I walk in. I have this resting bitch face, and then I'll let you in if I want to. Then I'll be nice to you. So your first impression is, you're a bitch. And maybe I'll be nice to you later. So that's embodiment. When, you don't have to say anything. You just are that thing. Yeah. So that's the disconnect right now. So if you are stuck in certain patterns and they're repeating over and over and over again, it's because you haven't embodied them yet. Because you shouldn't have to fight for your boundaries. They're just enforceable. They're not things that you announce to the world. They're for you internally. You know that if someone speaks to you this way, if someone does this thing to you, then that's it. Like, I'm not going to ask you why, or I don't care. You broke my boundary. That's it. Self-respect, like minimal. You don't speak to me. You're not rude. You're not this. Then so that's what we were talking about earlier. For you to be able to embody these things, right? So first you have to understand them intellectually, and then you have to work with your nervous system somatically so it's automatic. So you could do tapping. I love tapping because it's the easiest and most discreet thing. So in the moment that you are trying to reprogram your nervous system, or in the moment that you are triggered, you have to be present with that emotion, and then you move somatically. So you can tap, you can run, you can jump, you can shake, whatever. Any type of movement while you're present with the emotion. That's how you embody it. So so movement just stimulates the vagus nerves. It just, the vibration, it causes like this calming effect. It's the same thing as well as like humming. Like if you hum, you could see it, even my shoulders, like, they automatically go down. Your body like fully relaxes and your subconscious accepts whatever you're putting into it. So any type of movement creates safety in the body, because the first thing that your body wants to do is fight or flight, either fight or run away. So if you're moving, you don't have to speak it out loud. You can. It depends. It just, there's no rigid way to somatically implant something in your body. It's just whatever feels natural for you. Like, what do you feel like you need? And that's why we have to go back to yourself, connecting with you. What do I need right now to feel safe? What do I need right now to feel like this is true, or this can be true, right? Like for me, I love tapping. I absolutely love tapping. You can do tapping anywhere. I can tap here, I can tap on my wrist, I can tap my legs, and I can do that in a room full of people. If I'm triggered, I am aware, hey, this triggered me because it made me feel like they're not considering me, like I'm not enough, I'm unlovable, but I know that's not true, and it's okay, and I'm safe, and I can accept that. Like, but that's what I need in the moment. You have to find what feels comfortable for you. Yeah, yeah, because that's your perfectionist wound. So you want to do things perfectly, but why don't you reframe that? And instead of, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right thing for me? It's not the right thing for the world. You can want to do the right thing, but it's the right thing for yourself. Am I doing what's right for me? Do I feel comfortable? Does this meet my needs? You always have to bring it back to self. Yes, for you. Always for you. You are the center of your universe, of your world. So you have to always think in reference to me, because you have to live with your own consequences. No one else does, right? So if you're stuck in these patterns and you have toxic relationships, or you're not making enough money, or you're stuck in a job that you absolutely hate, or you live a life that you don't even want to wake up in the morning, okay, the first thing we do is we accept. This is my reality. I chose this. I created this reality. So we take responsibility for our world. No judgment, no shame, just acceptance. Acceptance is neutral. I created this. I created this as a person that thought this would give me fulfillment and safety. Great. I am here. Does this give me fulfillment? No. Do I feel safe? For the most part, I feel safe in my environment. Or no, I don't feel safe, but it's familiar. Maybe you're reliving your childhood. Your parents were, I don't know, abusive or chaotic or whatever, right? You're reliving it not because you feel safe, but because it's familiar. So the first thing, yes, I'm always here. That's my purpose, is to be a mirror to you guys. But that's why I say take away the shame and the guilt. Like there is no shame. You don't have to be ashamed for your life or for what you're repeating, because number one, they're just patterns, and your patterns you can always change. And number two, you did this because you needed it. You literally needed this. Like your body felt like it needed this life to survive. So even if it's awful, even if it's not what you wanted, you have to be proud of that. Like, man, I did this for me, because my body needed this. And now I don't need this anymore. Now I can go to the next step. Now I can do better. Now I can attract, manifest, and bring in better things for me because I'm aware. So we start with acceptance, then we go to accountability. And all of this is in my inner alchemy framework, which is the same framework I use on my one-on-ones. It's in the link in the bio. But we acceptance, accountability, and then we address our inner child, right? Because that's the part of us that needed this, that needs these relationships, that needed this job, that needed this house or apartment, this space. And you let your inner child know, hey, I get it. Like, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. This is what was familiar. This is what felt safe. And it's okay. But now we're going to do better. I'm going to get a better place for you. I'm going to get a better relationship with you. I'm going to make sure that you have everything you've ever wanted and more, because you deserve that. Then you do the somatic, whatever type of somatic integration you want to do. You can do the tapping, you can run, you can literally just shake. You can walk, whatever. And keeping that feeling and that limiting belief in awareness. Hey, I did this because I felt like I was not enough. I really like, and where do you feel that in your body? Is it in your chest, in your throat, in your head? Like, where do you feel that? Where do you feel that limiting belief that you are not enough, that you do not deserve more, that you can't have more? Where do you feel it in your body? Okay, I feel it in my gut. I feel it in my gut and my solar plexus, but I know it's not true. I know that's not true. I know I'm enough. I know I'm worthy of more. While you're in movement, either tapping, walking, jumping, shaking, whatever you want. Okay, feel it out, and you're going to feel your body literally just like, it's just gonna relax. It's like this very deep exhale. It's like, like, thank you. Like, thank you for, yes, you just let it integrate, and your body's gonna tell you, like, thank you. It's gonna relax. Your shoulders are just gonna come down, and you're gonna feel like amazing. Like, I can take a nap. You'll probably yawn, maybe cry a little, whatever. And as soon as it integrates, it stops. We run away from emotions so much, but if we would just sit with it 20 minutes, 15 minutes. If you only have 15 minutes, do 15 minutes. If you only have 10, do 10 minutes and just sit with it, even a partial integration, and just let yourself relax and sit with it, right? And no, I react all the time. I let myself react. This is like, if I need to cuss you out, I'm gonna cuss you out. That's the thing. It doesn't mean that you don't react. Is it a contained reaction? Yes, it's contained, right? I've never done this before, but I always use this as an example. Like me a couple of years ago, I would probably slap you in the face and slash your tires, but now it's I'll cuss you out. That's it. Like I'll yell. I won't do anything dramatic. I'm not gonna break anything, but you can still react. It's not about not reacting. It's just letting it settle, and I can react in a contained way. Like I can lose my composure a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm Latina. What? Of course, I should be able to lose my composure sometimes, but I'm not gonna do anything too big. So when it integrates somatically and your body relaxes, then you can come in and reprogram that limiting belief. Before I felt like I was not enough, and I know that's wrong. That's a lie. I am enough. I do deserve more. I can ask for more. I can attract more. I can manifest more. And you let that settle in. You let it settle in. You let it settle in. And from there, from embodiment, so after reacting, it would be best to somatic heal. Or no, I somatic heal, and then that's my default. My default reaction when I'm super pissed is I just cuss people out. But because we're human, we're real. Like just because you're spiritual and you're woo-woo doesn't mean it's all love and light all the time. It is not. But when you integrate the new belief, then after that, then comes the command, which you can pray. You could literally command to the universe, hey, moving forward, this is my expectation. Or if you do spell work, you could do spell work. You can go into meditation and clear out the field from there. And then after that, it's just embodiment. That's literally, those are my 7 steps. Those are the 7 steps I walk all of my clients through. I have the PDF in my link in the bio. You just sit down, you go through, you remind yourself. But to me, it's something that I put together after so much work and being exhausted of not figuring out how to get out of these loops and spending all of this money on therapists and coaches and spiritual leaders. And I'm like, nobody has all of the answers in one. No one has all of the answers. I'm big on that. No. I'm all about integration. You can't do, if you're into spiritual work, you understand that, I'm going to download this and put it on my YouTube. But if you're into spiritual work, you have to understand that it's all about the Trinity. You cannot live on any side of the spectrum of duality. Like you have to collapse that. You have to collapse that. You have to live in neutrality. I'm good and I'm bad. And that makes me human. You know, I'm powerful and sometimes I'm powerless. And that makes me that makes me who I am, because you are all and nothing at the same time, all of the time, always. That's just how I tried. There was a point in my spiritual journey where I was just like, man, I see all of these people. They don't get upset. They don't yell. They don't scream. And my family's Dominican. Like we're just naturally loud. And I was like, I can't do that. So I tried, but it's not in me. Like sometimes I'm triggered, really triggered, even with all of my tools, even with all of these years of therapy and coaching and spirituality. I mean, I can astral project. I can literally go into people's fields and make them do shit that they should not be doing. This is why. And I'm like, so I know how to do all of these things, but sometimes like I'm the Latina, like you can't take that away from me. It's all or nothing, everything. It's all or nothing. So it's just having all of the tools and connecting and integrating everything, not only intellectually, but somatically at the same time. And you collapse it into one. And then you go back to what we've always been taught. It's the mind, the body, and the soul, the energetic field. You need all of that into one so you can step out of the loops, so you can manifest the reality you want, so you can attract everything that you've ever desired without doing more work. And that's it. It's not about doing more. It's not about having more tools. It's not about perfection either. It really isn't. It's about being able to live your life, literally wake up every day and just being fulfilled because you exist. Like really let that settle into your body right now. Imagine like waking up in the morning and being relaxed. No anxiety, no depression, no nothing. Just, I'm here and I created this and I'm okay with this for right now. It doesn't mean that I don't want more. I want more for my future, but right now I'm good where I'm at and I'm grateful for where I'm at. And I love myself because I've gotten myself. Okay, guys, I don't know if this paused. I have to hop off. I have to go pick up my mom in the airport, but it was awesome talking to you guys. I'm going to download this and put it on my YouTube. And if you guys have any questions, send me a DM or go to the link in my bio and look at the things that I have there. But it was awesome talking to you guys. I hope this helped and I was able to answer all of your questions. Yeah, you have an amazing day too.